KLVW Village West. I'm your host, Janet Saylor, and we have a wonderful show for you today. One of our very, very talented residents who's been here probably as long as me.
Not quite.
Not quite, okay. And we did a lot of shows together, but she has really been an actress and a star. I'd like to introduce you to Miss Rae Tutela. Hi, Rae, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, and I'm so happy you're with me.
Yeah, we have a lot of background to talk about sometimes.
We do. Yes,
but give us a little bit, tell us a little bit of what got you started in theater and how this all came about that you became our star.
Okay, well, last night I'm going through stuff that I saved through the years, and one of them, believe it or not, I was 13 years old, and it was a playground that we did a show every summer.
Yeah.
And I won first prize. I was 13 years old for singing. And singing started actually in church, the church choir. I wanted to be an opera singer, believe it or not. And
a tenor?
No, I was a coloratura.
Oh.
I could hit E above high C.
Oh, okay.
And my lessons were taken by, his name was Donald Gage. He was the matinee idol at the Paper Mill Playhouse in the 40s when all they were doing was operettas.
All right, I'll stop you 1 minute. Tell the people out there about the Paper Mill Playhouse. It wasn't just some little shack in the corner here. Tell them about the Paper Mill.
It was a very professional, New York people performed there. In fact, well, I haven't been there in years, but no, it was all very, very, very professional. People from all over, you say the Paper Mill Playhouse, they went, oh.
And they did regular shows, like Broadway shows.
Wait a minute.
No,
so Jesus Christ
Superstar, right.
And I'm not Catholic, I'm Presbyterian. Born, raised, very active in the church, always. My life was spent mostly in auditoriums and gymnasiums.
Okay.
That was my life. And when I was young. And I took lessons from Mr. Gage. And then my school...
acting lessons, right?
No, singing lessons.
Oh, singing lessons,
lessons. And I was on my way. And then I was 16 years old, and my school, Westside High School in Newark, New Jersey, there was a little theater that worked out of the high school. It had nothing to do with the high school. And they were having auditions. And I went. I was 16 years old. And that's what I looked like, as you can see the picture. I know, old age is not kind.
No, it's not.
Let me tell you.
But we're still here.
I know, Janet, I know. It is not kind. I look in the mirror and I go, oh, Ma, And I went on the audition. And, can you sing? Yeah. And could you dance? Yeah, And I had my black suit on, a white scarf around my neck, my ballerinas, my DA. In fact, I'm still wearing short hair. I never had long hair in my life. And
tell them what DA stood for, Rae.
Duck's ass.
Yes.
And that was the back.
If you had a duck's ass haircut, you were in.
That was the back of the hair. But, it's funny because I had a friend, her name was Eileen. I have a friend, we're still friends, they're friendly. And nobody could understand, how could you two get together? You just don't go.
Right.
She was Alice in Wonderland, and I was Rizzo from Greece.
Oh, okay.
So but we had a lot in common, we liked the same things. Well, that's beside the point. But back to the audition. I get a call that night. Well, you got the comedy lead. I walked away with the comedy lead.
Okay.
And I realized how funny I was on the stage. And out the door went opera. I always sang. I sang, but...
Well, you got to take what you have, and you got to make the best of that.
Yes.
And you were very funny. You could just sit there and make an expression, because I've seen you in shows.
Yes, yes.
And let's talk about this. Here, show some of this. Can you show some of these
Oh,
pictures?
definitely. Well, what happened was my husband didn't like me to perform. So unfortunately, he was 50 years old and he passed away. I was 44. I was still young. You know, he said to the children, Mommy's young, men are going to want to take her out, and if she meets somebody she really likes, do not let her get married. Whoa, you know, what are you saying? I said, no, Ronnie. And he said, look, I work too hard for my pension, and I don't want to see you lose it. Now, I'm going to be 87 in April, and Trenton must be saying, when is this bitch gonna die? I'm still collecting the pension. But I did meet another gentleman, and in fact, he was the deputy mayor of Newark, and loved the theater. And all he kept on saying, sing, Ray, play the piano, Ray. And that's how I got right back to where I left it.
See, you were very lucky to have a supportive man.
Absolutely,
Yes.
and that's where I did the most. I mean, Ray, they're having auditions, go. That was Carmen Biazzi. And
tell us a little bit about what you did. I don't know if they could see these pictures, but I know you've done so much.
Well, I went on an audition, and they were doing Nonsense. I don't know if anybody saw it in New York. It was a Broadway. If they remember, I'm going back. It was Nonsense was very popular, and I was a nun. I was Sister Mary Hubert.
You think
I don't know if you could see that. We were 5 nuns, and our life, what happened in the convent, was very, very funny. In fact, it was so funny. At the end of the first act, I do a holy roller song, and I jump up in the air in the end. And I do a little tap dance. I jumped up on the end, my legs wide open, naturally, with the robe covered everything, and zingo, I urinated. I said, thank God I had leotards on. Otherwise, there would have been a puddle on the stage. And a lot of interesting things happened.
Well, you keep it real. I gotta tell you that.
Oh, definitely. You know, and we used to, after, you know, not after, before the show, we'd walk to the liquor store, which was 2 doors down, and we'd walk in and get whatever we wanted to drink. And we're walking in. Now we're nuns' costumes, and the gentleman goes, "Give these girls anything they want." I said, "No, that's not necessary." "Oh, no, sister, no." And I went, "Oh, thank you, my Lord," you know, and I blessed him. You know, these were things that you had to laugh.
Right.
And then there was also a store next to the theater. It was a storefront theater. It held 100 people. That was it.
Where was this now?
In Bradley Beach.
Bradley Beach.
And there was a store where you rent, what are they called? Where you rent film?
A video store.
Video store.
Right.
And I walked in.
We're showing our age.
Oh, my God. So anyway, I walk in to say hello to my friend. She owns it. And there were 2 men talking to her, and in the back of the store were all the pornographic discs, tapes, whatever. So I walked right past the 2 men and went through the sliding doors, and they went, "Oh my God, does she know where she's going?" And naturally, you know, I had a lot of fun with it. Down the street, my sister-in-law lived. I went to knock on the door. I don't know why I went down there with my, it was right before a show. And my brother-in-law opens the door and goes, "We gave." And then he shut the door in my face. There was a lot of fun things happen. And here it was in the summer, and you have this costume on. It was hot. And I hope you could see this me backstage. That's me wiping my brow.
Passing out altogether.
And it is hot. But it was a lot of fun.
Now, what is this 15th annual Dusty? We want to get to everything.
This came later. This was the 15th annual Dusty Film Festival. A Dusty Film Festival was shown in the Lowe's Theater in New York, and I was in one of them. I was in one of the films. My nephew, who he was in The Bronx Tale and did a few commercials. And you know, life is funny. A friend of his said, I'm going on a cattle call. And for people that don't know what a cattle call is, it's auditions to be in a movie. And it's lines and lines and lines of people lined up to audition. Well, unfortunately, his friend didn't get a part, but my nephew walked away with a very, very good part in The Bronx Tale. He also did analyze this and analyze that. And he called me, he said, Aunt Rae, there's a gentleman I know, young man, and the grandmother in the film he's doing walked out, and they need a grandmother. Can he come over and see you? I said, sure, why not? And I opened the front door. He looked, oh, you're perfect. And there I am in, where the hell was it? Oh, God, it was...
You see, I could see why you went from singing to comedy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean, singing, you would be just another singer.
That's it.
But comedy takes a lot of timing and a lot of shtick and a lot of making fun of yourself. Yes, yes.
And
yes.
I went, his home was being filmed. The film was being filmed in his home. And I found out I do not like making a film.
That's a lot of work.
I would have never been able to do Hollywood. It's, you sit there, I crocheted everybody a scarf while we were rehearsing. It's a half an hour to set up the lighting, almost an hour to do this. I mean, it was too much sitting around. I didn't have the patience for that. The stage flows, it just keeps on going.
Right, it keeps going.
And I like to see, you know, I walked off the stage in one of the shows I was doing in Asbury Park. And the director said to me, as I'm passing him, you are a director's nightmare. I went, oh my God, what did I do? You know, what did I do? My goodness. I mean, to me, it was an insult. And after the show, I went over to him and I said, well, what did you mean by that? We don't see your performance till you're in front of an audience.
That's right.
And it's the truth. I mean, you know, you people out there, I love yous. I love yous. And that was it. That was the end. And this was where the film was shown.
Now, could you give us a little, we knew Paul Nixon. Can you tell us about Paul Nixon? I know he was very good friends with you.
Paul Nixon and I, we did a show at the Jade Green, right? Is that her name?
Yes. I forgot who you were talking.
She was, she did the, she was the Grange Theater.
Yes, Jade.
And we did a show in Toms River when she had the dinner theater there.
Right.
And we became friends. And he'd call me. He was 20 years older than I. And, but I liked him, and we had a lot in common. Very smart, very intelligent man. Tiny, he wasn't a big man. And he lived at Leisure Village West. And he would call me and say, Rae, I'm directing a show, and it's going to be, I'll say, all right, I'd love to come and see it. And I would come here to Leisure Village West. I'm not a resident yet. And I was extremely impressed with what was going on with the Players Club. I mean, everything was really beautiful. And I was very impressed with the Players Club, never even thinking that one day I'd be living here. And we were friends for quite some time. And in fact, he was in his 90s. He bought a brand new red car. I mean, he just was, every time he picked me up, he'd be in a suit or a sport jacket, always dressed, old school, opened the car door. And we'd go to dinner, and one day he goes, we have to have a serious talk. I went, oh, what the hell does he want to talk about? And he goes, I was going to ask you to marry me, Rae. And right away, my back went up. And he said, but it wouldn't be fair to you. No, it wouldn't, I wanted to say. You're 20 years older. And I looked at him, I said, look, I said from the beginning, we're just friends. Well, Paul was such a great actor. He won the Perry Award. And now, if everybody doesn't know what the Perry Award is, it's an award that's given out to the best actor in New Jersey. He won it twice.
Yeah, that was...
So you know how good he was. He didn't even have to go on auditions. They would call him up and go, Paul, we need you, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, he dies. He was 96 years old. And I was upset. I mean, we were friends, close friends. And a couple of weeks later, his nephew calls and says, Rae, you're sitting down? Yeah. I said, what's the matter? He said, Paul left you the house and all its contents. I mean, I choke up just thinking about it right now.
Right.
And that's how I got to move to Leisure Village West. I had a home in Bradley Beach, 7 houses from the ocean, 6 bedrooms, beautiful old colonial home. And here I am in Leisure Village West, and it's the best move I ever made.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you say that. I
happy
was
to be
going to hear
here.
you. Thought that you were going to say with the Yentas.
No. Oh, wait a minute. I was in high school. My boyfriend was Leonard Bornstein. Almost got married till his mother stepped in. You know, that was in the 50s.
Right.
He said to me, Rae, he went to camp and he says, Rae, I have to stop seeing you. My mother's don't like it. I said, all right, I understand.
Well, those were much different times.
Yes, but he married an Italian girl.
Of course. See, I had
He
that.
wound up marrying an Italian girl.
Absolutely.
I joined the Players Club, and my first, actually, I didn't act in it. I directed 2 one-act shows, plays. And during the auditions, this one woman that was involved said, oh, don't give that Mario a party, he can't remember lines. I completely ignored her.
Right.
Completely. I'm going to do what I want to do. Because he made a perfect husband with Charlotte Navitier. And we started rehearsal. And I said, Mario, look, we're all old. It's difficult to learn lines. I said, but what I'm going to do is, there's going to be a magazine on the coffee table where you're sitting. If you get a brain freeze, pick up the magazine, start browsing through it. All your lines are going to be in the magazine.
That's a good director.
And that was it. Well, let me tell you, Mario was so good with Charlotte that he stole the show. He was the best actor. You know, I don't know if everybody remembers this or knows it. Marlon Brando couldn't remember lines. When he did The Godfather, he was 45 years old. He was a young man.
Right.
All right? And the cast had the lines taped on their on a piece of paper on their bodies. So when he was talking to you, his lines were right there. And that was Marlon Brando. Oh, wait a minute. I worked in Atlantic City.
What were you doing there?
I was in Tina and Tony's wedding.
See? So she has so much
and I got paid
to offer.
$100 a performance, plus tolls, plus gas. And I was the old lady of the group. Oh, I got one more story I got to tell you.
Okay, one more story, and
I got to tell you.
they'll cut some of the rest.
My job as grandma was to get the people up and dance. You know, it'd start off with dinner and the wedding ceremony, the whole bit. And I'd sit at a random table, socialize with the guests, and then get up and do what I had to do. Well, I walk over to one of the tables, and I said to the gentleman sitting there, I go, come on, dance with Grandma. And he goes, oh, no, no, that's all right. I said, oh, come on, you can dance with Grandma. The whole table went. I looked down, he had no legs.
Oh, God, forgive me.
Yes, yes.
Well, he could have used that wheelchair.
No, he didn't have, we were sitting in the chair.
Oh, okay. Because I would have, with you, knowing you, you would have wheeled him around.
No, I sat on his lap.
Right.
I said, that's all right, we could still dance. And I put my rear end on his lap. We moved a little bit, and everybody clapped. Then I got up. I said, thank you very much. Walked away. I wish you could have had a picture of my face walking away. I walked to the bar. I said, just give me any kind of shot.
Right.
I mean, I was, and then at the end, the cast would line up and wave goodbye to the guests. There he was in his wheelchair, right? And he's going, thank you. Thank you.
I can still see you sitting on his lap. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to close this show. Thank you so much, Rae. It's been a wonderful day. Have a great day in Leisure Village West.
Yes, goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.